Stuart, what do you think about renting first, then buying?
Well, we see a lot of customers ask this same question, particularly a lot of Americans who haven't figured out quite where they'd like to be in Spain yet, comparing perhaps Valencia with Malaga province. I will tell you very openly that the property for rentals are short supplied. And I know you might think this guy just wants to sell, but if you think about it, it's better you come on a 2-week trip, stay in an Airbnb or something like that and explore areas and then make a decision, because renting long term has been really difficult. I know this firsthand because I own a property which I used to do short-term rentals for, but because it was so short supplied for long-term rentals, I was offered a really good price and I did it. And I see a lot of Facebook notice boards where people are asking for 1-bedrooms in Manilva or Duquesa, 600 a month. You can't find it. It's really difficult. And especially if you want to be in the city of Estepona, really difficult. There's a guy in our little pueblo, this pueblo called Torre Guadillaro, that has more than 10 properties he does for long-term rent. When he puts it out in the market, he gets 18 people calling him to long-term rent it. If you're looking right now in summer season, people don't really care to respond to you because they know that they're making money on the short-term rentals. And really, they open up and consider long-term around September time. And lastly, there is a real sticking point right now with long-term rentals. You may have heard of occupiers, and a lot of landlords are worried about that because occupiers aren't people that break into your property necessarily and squat. What they are tenants that just stop paying. And the Spanish government protects tenants, and they can stay up to 5 years. If they have children, it's very hard to evict them. So this is what makes landlords scared, which makes them want to choose short-term rentals or something called teacher's rent, or maybe not offer you a proper contract or put bills in your name. And this has meant the supply of long-term rentals is quite short supplied. So if you can afford the deposit, you can buy a property. The mortgage rates have come down and they're going to come down even further. So perhaps the mortgage to own something will be the equivalent of renting something, and you'll own something at the end. And as you know, the value of properties continue to rise on the Costa del Sol. So I don't want to come across as a person trying to sell, but I do think that buying a bolt hole or something like we did as a family might be the way to go. We bought a 3-bedroom, 85 square meters, and we put 6 of us in it. And it became our stepping stone to move onwards and upwards before we bought our family home. So obviously we don't do rentals. I don't actually have any long-term rental agencies to recommend, perhaps 1 or 2 in Alcadesa, Sotogrande area. And even the rental agencies that work for long-term, not so responsive because they're inundated with calls. So if you can, come on a scouting trip, figure out the area, then perhaps look to buy.